This is Movies, a podcast by the act of cinema. With me today, of course, it's Hans.
Hello, I think my microphone's working this time. Hi, how's it going?
What are we wearing today? I see you have Japanese wardrobe on.
It's my thing shirt that fits really awkwardly because the design, it's old and the design makes the shirt pull forward so it looks like I have a bigger beer belly than I actually do. So that's really cool about this shirt.
Are you
It makes
struggling,
me look like I'm
Hans?
in worse shape.
Do you think,
With
are you
what?
putting on weight?
No, I'm doing all right. It's just, this shirt is very unflattering. You should, if I'm not going to stand up, but it folds in a way
You
that
should
makes it
lay
look like I
down, do
have,
some sit-ups right now for us,
makes,
for
makes it
you.
look like I have tits and a belly, which I don't.
I
But
don't think it could make you look like you have tits and a belly if you don't, Hans. Kenny, I called you Kenny because you're pulling a Kenny right now. You're standing up and just assuming the camera's cutting over to you, even though you haven't said a word.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you're just giving me and our special guest, Detective Wolfman, a show. How you
Well, I
doing,
don't want
Wolfman?
anyone. Yeah.
I'm doing great. I'm enjoying the show.
Good. Hans, what were you saying?
Does that surprise you though? I'm almost 40, and that I don't know how the webcam works.
You're
I just
gradually
stand up and-
forgetting how the podcast
Yeah.
works, I think.
Yep. Yeah, just a little bit. My brain cancer, brain tumor that I'm gonna die from.
But
in
that'll be
a couple
good
of
because
years.
it'll make it exciting for you. It'll be like, oh, ooh, we got a cool special event movie tonight to talk about that we haven't talked about 4 times before, right?
Oh, I thought you were talking about me being excited about having a brain tumor.
Well, I'm
It's like, I
saying
don't know if I
there's
can-
upsides to it as well as downsides.
Yeah, we can milk that, I guess.
Yes.
Someone some money.
Just like we
Maybe
milk
something.
this audience left and right.
Yeah.
We are so behind on the listeners. Honestly, the rest of the month, nonstop listener sponsor tiers, we're probably going to have to put them out through like Patreon only because there are some deep cut niche films in here. But Wolfman, I did your show just recently, and we were talking about Abel Ferrara, King of New York specifically, but we crossed the spectrum of so many different movies and just like his life history. And one of our mutual fans listened to the show, heard about the Fear City curse, and decided, you know what? I'm going to make LowRes and Hans, and I will put in a request that you get Wolfman for the episode, talk and listen and try to beat this thing. So here we are.
Yeah, maybe the sponsorship, maybe that's what was missing. Maybe it was just too good to do for free.
I would assume so. Hans, correct me if I'm wrong. We tried to do this on Twitch once upon a time when we were still like, could this be a Twitch show? Could we do it on there? And maybe we got some like super chats or whatever the hell the equivalent to that is. But maybe it just had to be one big lump sum that wills this episode into existence.
Was it Twitch?
Yeah, we did.
Wasn't this the episode that we did with the movie Cowboys? What is that?
Yes,
podcast
no,
called?
but that's the thing is we did that too. This has been several attempts.
Third. Yeah.
Thi-
Because that's the
this
one I
is the third.
remember. I think the first one I might have been a little intoxicated. That's why I don't remember that one that well.
I mean, that could just
And-
describe the first 200 episodes of the show.
Fair. Yeah. And I can't remember seeing this movie 3 times. So I'm assuming the first time I was probably intoxicated while watching it too. Because I caught a lot of new things in this watch, and I was like, oh, I'm actually liking this a lot more than I remember liking it. I think I wasn't very positive about it, right?
I don't think you were. You know what? I think you did a flip flop. I think the first time we
Wait.
talked about it, you weren't vibing it. Then we went back to it, and you were kind of like your reaction now, and nobody got to hear a goddamn thing.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. Actually, I just realized that it doesn't matter
No,
what I
it
said-
doesn't.
what I said before. So yeah, no, yeah.
But
Seen it
before
20
we
times.
even get to Fear City, our film this evening, Wolfman, how have you been? For the listeners who didn't listen to the episode we just recorded, not even, what was it, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, maybe we recorded?
Yeah, I mean, I think I released it about a week. Maybe it's been 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, yeah, for the listeners who haven't listened to that, shame on you. But no, I've been fine. Been doing good.
Everybody
Happy to be
should.
back. Happy to be back.
I'm glad your show is back too. I'm glad I could help usher it back in with that episode, which we did with Max Thrax. whose audiobook is currently out now, and you can get it on Audible. God is a Killer. Check that out.
Oh yeah, well that's the beauty of doing a show very irregularly and sometimes taking a month and a half, 2 months off at a time with no announcement is you always get to come back and people get really excited.
Yeah.
What's it like to do an episode with someone that's not blackout every time you record something?
Uh I mean, it's pretty good. I will say, depending on the guests that I have, we all get a little blacked out sometimes. And some of those
Sometimes.
episodes get scrapped.
Oh yeah, well, we don't have to get into it, but you were giving me a little anecdote last time on the show.
Oh no, it's fine. Yeah, he wouldn't care if I shared. For those of you who do listen to my show, fan favorite guest Dawson, the first episode he and I ever recorded together, and it was the first time we ever talked like off of Twitter, other than just like DMing or whatever. We both got hammered and immediately like left the subject we were talking about and just started talking about all the deeply personal shit that was going on in our lives. And yeah, that whole episode had to get canned.
Yeah. I would imagine.
What you said your real name, your address, and everything.
Yeah,
No, nothing like that. Nothing like that. He and I, we were both just like, we just started talking about like our personal lives and not talking about the movie at all.
What was the movie by chance?
You know what? It wasn't a movie. It was actually it was Edgar Allan Poe's detective character, Dupont. We were going to talk about him because Edgar Allan Poe, he technically invented like the serial detective character. I think he was like the first person in the Western canon to do it.
Was it spooky? Was it like a spooky detective?
He was a big raven, Hans. It was a big raven in a Sherlock Holmes cap.
But basically, we were both expecting to like those stories a lot more, and we both didn't like them at all, or the character. And so, yeah, and then we wound up just getting way off topic to where I think we had maybe like 30 minutes of discussion about the actual topic.
Now, when that happens, do you redo the episode with the same topic, or do you pick a new topic?
So with that one, we wound up redoing it, but because neither of us really had much to say about that topic itself, we just kind of switched gears and said, well, let's just talk about our top 3 favorite detectives. And then we revisited some of the points we made about that character and what we liked and didn't like. But I mean, so it honestly worked out for the best.
Yeah, that sounds like a much better approach, especially if the conversation flows as natural, where you're already immediately digging into personal things your first time speaking to somebody. So
I'm more like still stuck in the, was it like a spooky detective? Did he have a walking stick with a little devil on it?
No,
was
he's
he wearing
actually
a suit at all times?
No, not to get too deep into it, but his character is not very interesting at all. Like there's not really a lot to him. He's just very smart, and like I don't even think he visits the scenes of the crime. People just come to him and give him all the evidence, and he's like, oh, it's this. He's a very passive character. Not interesting to read.
No spooky Columbo is what you're saying.
No, not at all. That'd be
that's Kolchak. That's right.
Stalker.
Damn, we should get to Kolchak at some point. Maybe that'll be Halloween this year. Kolchak is fantastic. I hate his hat, but otherwise, great character.
No idea.
You don't, Hans, you of all people should know Kolchak the Night Stalker.
Is that the bald guy? Wait, why?
No, that's Kojak.
That's Kojak, yeah.
Kolchak is Darren McGavin, your hero from A Christmas Story, a movie that I was so shocked that you liked, but pleasantly surprised.
Why?
I don't know. It just seemed too wholesome. I was surprised that you liked it.
I'm a lot more joyful than I guess I come out. or people expect.
Hans, our last Christmas episode, I think you were like, I hate Christmas. Christmas makes me sad.
Listen, I was by myself on Christmas, sitting here with no tree and no decorations. So yeah, it wasn't jolly at all. It was hot too.
You could have spent Christmas with Mumpky and Eggy. I'm sure they would have loved to have you.
Yeah.
Did they live
Christmas in
together?
Iowa.
Well, Eggy and Monkey live in the same town, so they're within vicinity of one another. They, I think, sometimes do record shows from like the same premises
Hmm.
but different rooms. I don't know, but
That'd be
yeah,
fun if they had like an odd couple thing going on where they were just roommates this whole time.
I mean, it very well could be that for all I know. There are signs that that could be the case. I have no clue. I have no idea. I just know that Eggy moved to the same town as Mumkey, and that's how they do things now. They got a Drake and Josh opening intro that's like beat for beat. It gives that vibe,
No,
you know.
fucker. That would cost me money to go to Iowa. Are you serious? That would make it worse Christmas
I
even.
think it would be like a lateral move, honestly, because Iowa is probably extremely cheap, especially for the United States. Um, and I don't know. I think it would probably, yeah, I would think it would be pretty much the same.
Is this a location that we should be looking into
Well, and they got
for shooting?
they got a
Because
lot of
weren't we?
corn there, Hans, and you're Hispanic. You like that?
Yeah. All right. I'm not gonna make tortillas out of it. I'm not
But there you go. You could set up
I'm not
shop.
that Mexican. Yeah, I just say sell fucking elotes with cheese.
Yeah, you could
Um,
corner the market.
what was it the town where we are going to shoot that other movie? Was it
Wichita.
Wichita? Right.
Yeah. No, that's a different, totally different.
Yeah.
Wichita, I think, has like a lot of opiate problems going on with it. Some like crazy white homeless people, if I
Oh,
remember
weird.
hearing right. You know?
Yeah.
So it's probably like pretty good compared to New York. But yeah, no, Wichita was extremely cheap. I was looking at, I was scouting locations for Wichita back in 2022, 2023 for a project that wasn't able to get off the ground. And I was talking for a while back with Sterling Bartlett about doing like a comic book version of, and would still like to do with him at some point.
That'd be
Um,
bitching.
and we were looking at like, all right, well, how much would it cost to just like rent a house and use that as the production house and also as the set and have that for a month? What does that look like? And it was literally like $1,600. It was like
It's just cheaper than a
cheaper than
one bedroom
rent.
apartment.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, this is amazing. Maybe we got to hop on this right away. And things happen, projects get delayed, and then they disappear because people have other life priorities like having children, you know. So
I
didn't
think
happen.
if we ever do the Kenny dating show, we should go to a place like Wichita and get locals for the females.
Corn-fed
And
locals.
yeah, and that way we can get like a mansion for cheap. I'm sure Wichita mansion. Where would that be?
Here's the problem with that though. Here's
Yeah.
the thing you're not seeing is then you have to get locals who would be interested in Kenny. And
Well, no, because the interest is this is a reality show, right? That we're selling to something. We can pretend to, this is a show for whatever. I don't know.
And you did
Peacock.
say they got a lot of homeless there.
they do.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I'm sure Kenny would be fine with that, but I personally would like to get an elevated level of, I would like him to be moving up, not moving down to sideways. You know what I mean? And actually,
What? So
we couldn't do that anyway because the nurse took him back again and bought him. How about this? This is going to be very exciting for our upcoming show because someone also purchased a Kenny tier for later in the month. Wolfman, I don't know if you heard about the Kenny tier. There's if they pay $150, we give Kenny a third of that, and then he comes on the show to talk about whatever. They picked Melancholy Durangle.
have you
So
tried
Never heard
what?
of
Because
that.
I tried watching. I made it like 20 minutes in, and this is gonna be a struggle.
what is
It's
it
a rough
about,
one.
Hans?
I still don't know. I mean, visually it's kind of interesting because it's kind of creepy and kind of handheld for a lot of the 20 minutes that I watched. But it gets very like weird. It hasn't gotten horny yet, but it feels like weird European horny. Like
Uh
that
huh.
that feel of like something hairy and weird is about to happen. Hasn't happened yet, but I can see, with 2 hours and what 40 minutes to go, I'm sure something weird and hairy would happen. Shitty, I'm sure. Some poop, because it's Europe.
Because it's German.
Um, yeah, but I wonder how. I hope the nurse doesn't watch this movie with Kenny, because I don't think this is like a movie you watch with your gal.
No,
You
but
know?
she's into like the Terrifier movies and stuff, so you never know.
Oh,
And she's a nurse. She's dealing with hairy and poop and weird shit all the time.
That's a fantastic point. She's
and
probably
yeah.
dealing with literal blood on a daily basis, if not shit, if not other fluids.
No,
And
but I mean
Kenny.
besides Kenny, right? Oh fuck, we won't put the same show.
Yeah, yes. All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about Fear City tonight, because this is New York City in its prime time, at its most fantastic, and Abel Ferrara at his most bombastic. I would say this is his first attempt at doing a commercial picture. It was funded by 20th Century Fox, but it was distributed by some small company because they were like, I don't know what the hell we're going to do with this. What, you think we can just market this because we have Tom Berenger and Billy Dee Williams? Guess again. This for a long time, and I think it might still be, but for the longest time, I consider Fear City my favorite Abel Ferrara film. And it's just because it's so funny. It's so chock with character. And I love the premise of like the only way you can stop a karate killer is with a boxer. Great. Okay.
A boxer that's dealing with the trauma of murdering someone
Yes.
without meaning to.
Yes.
Very American.
And while doing a weird Sylvester Stallone impression for a lot of the movie too, where he just doesn't open his mouth when he's speaking, so he just kind of like, what was that? A lot of the dialogue is just like, open your mouth. What is this? Is very. But I'm not familiar with Tom Berenger's other roles, but is this just who he is as an actor, or was he
Um
more understated? Because it did feel like a little bit like 80s Stallone at points for me.
well, Tom Berenger, his first breakout role would have been Looking for Mr. Goodbar, where he plays the gay guy who snaps and murders Diane Keaton because she starts mocking his inability to get hard during sex.
Fair,
And
by the way.
yeah,
Good, justified.
that's the first time I can remember him having like a moment that stuck and he became this sort of presence. After that, what year is Fear City? Is that 85?
84.
84. Okay. And I believe The Big Chill is shortly thereafter, because The Big Chill, I think, is his first actual big role as an actor, where he's playing Tom Selleck essentially in the movie. He's playing an actor who gets a Magnum PI style role, and he goes back to bury one of his close college friends along with the other group, the rest of the group of friends, and they're staying at one of the friends' houses for a period of time while the funeral and the wake happen.
Well, LowRes, I'm sure you probably knew this, but in The Big Chill, there's one shot of the hand of the dead friend that they're all there to mourn, and that is Kevin Costner's hand.
Hell yes.
So Kevin Costner is the guy that they're all talking about.
Kevin Costner, I guess, shot something like 20 minutes worth of scenes for The Big Chill, and they were all cut. They were all cut out. I don't know if they were intended to be flashbacks or if there was going to be like a lead up and then he dies. But Kevin Costner had like an actual role in the movie. It wasn't one of these like you see Nick Cage playing the fry boy in some fast food restaurant in an 80s movie. He actually had a real part in that, but it would be a while before he got a film of his own. I think, what was it, Bull Durham was probably his first big one.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yeah.
and I think my timing could be wrong on this, but I think Kasdan gave Costner the role of Jake in Silverado to basically apologize for cutting him from The Big Chill.
Okay. I actually haven't seen Silverado before. It was on TV
Oh, I love it.
while I was house sitting 2 weeks ago, and it was like halfway over, and I was like, "Hold on, no." I started like getting caught up in what I was watching, and I had to like step away because I knew, all right, I'll get around to watching this eventually. I don't want to spoil the movie for myself.
It's a very I think it is a very fun and great Western. It is more in the vein of like the remake of 310 to Yuma. So it's not
What
it's not super bright, you know, and wholesome like the John Wayne westerns. It's not super dark like the Clint Eastwood, you know, spaghetti westerns. It's kind of right in the middle. There's a lot of adventure, a lot of comedy, a lot of like great characters. Yeah, you
Black
guys should check
cowboy
out
in it?
Silverado. I think you'd dig it.
Who's the black cowboy in it?
Danny Glover.
Oh shit, okay. I Silverado, the only thing that I think of is the truck that we had when I lived in Mexico in my first 8 years of life. We had an orange Silverado. It was a big piece of shit. I don't think I've ever heard of this movie, but I'm kind of interested now.
Yeah, that was early 90s, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was 89,
80,
90, something like that.
85, 85.
85?
Mhm.
Oh, I
Oh,
thought it was
wow.
later.
Damn. I would have bet the house it was like 91, 92, 93.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Kevin Kline,
Mm-hmm.
Danny Glover, Scott Glenn, and Kevin Costner. Ooh. Okay, well maybe we'll cover Silverado in a future episode.
He works with the same actors, I guess. Kevin Kline is somebody who doesn't. I feel like he doesn't get cast anymore. I feel like he was
Well,
one of
isn't he
those
like
guys who looked old at a young age.
always,
Mm.
forever, a John Lithgow type of guy?
Yeah, and then now like nobody's interested in him.
Well, and he was always kind of, especially as he got older, like he plays a very good, cool cowboy in Silverado. Like he's very convincing in the role. Um, but as he got older, especially, he was like kind of prissy, and they would always cast him as like the college English professor, like that type of
Yeah.
shit, like the kind of guy who wears a bow tie everywhere.
He has that look of like he's balding, but it's prestigious. It's not
Yeah,
sad. Where he's just like, well, he's a professor, I guess.
and
Instead of
he's
yeah.
such a stage actor that I feel like he could never really shake that in his film performances. So I don't think it didn't really lend itself to him taking on kind of like grittier or schlubbier roles.
No, and I'm looking at his filmography here, and after Wild Wild West in '99, which
Oh,
I
that probably
guess
did
was
it.
it's a pretty big movie,
Mm.
I guess, recognition wise. But then uh, after that, Pink Panther, Prairie Home Companion,
Mm.
and then after that is just a lot of just um, direct to video looking movies. Oh, he was in the Beauty and the Beast remake, playing Maurice. I don't know who that is. But besides that, it's just kind of yeah sad,
Well, I
I
think
guess. So,
also, not that he's like a huge star necessarily, but I think at a certain point, all the roles that would have gone to Kevin Kline, they started giving to Kenneth Branagh. And so I think, yeah, that just kind of knocked Kevin Kline out of the running.
you get an actual Brit
Yeah.
instead of like someone that kind of looks like. That's what I was looking at Tom Berenger's IMDb because I was wondering what he's been up to for like the past 20 years, since
Mhm.
he had some big roles in the 80s and or early 90s. But it kind of gets a little sad in the 2000s. Let me share it so I'm not just talking. You get I mean, I guess he gets to be the main role for the Sniper series. I'm just trying to find Sniper 1.
I'm sorry.
Seems like he
Did
joined
you mention the substitute beforehand?
no.
The
It's right
substitute
here.
is kind of a fun direct to video Tom Berenger joint. It's not a smart movie. It's kind of like Stand and Deliver, but with 21 Jump Street.
Okay. So what? He just plays a teacher that's kind of badass.
Yeah, he's like trying to like track down a gang or something that's in the school, if I remember right. I don't know.
Oh,
It's been a while.
is it one of those movies where it's like a white teacher going into a black high school and then he earns the respect by dribbling a basketball or something and like hitting a 3-pointer?
No, he
Nah,
kills
he
the
fucks
gang.
them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Oh,
I think he's like a secret agent or some or former Marine, and he has to like track down a Miami gang that's in the school, if I remember right.
okay.
But again,
Well, I was telling
the last time I saw it was on like HBO in 2002 or something.
well, I
Yeah,
was telling Wolfman. Yeah, that
Okay.
I was wondering about like where his career went because he's still working. Like he's getting work consistently. But I was wondering where that went because like I mean, I think the the biggest role that I'm familiar with is Major League, right? Because I love that movie.
That and Platoon are like his
Oh, Barnes. Yeah.
two biggest roles.
Yeah.
Well, and I think too, I think part of what similar to Kevin Kline in the sense of him being kind of in the middle of something. I feel like Tom Berenger, he was like a good looking leading man, but there was something about him. He just kind of had like too much edge. And so, but he was like, when he was younger, it's like, well, this guy's too handsome and charming to be the villain, but he's too kind of rough to be the hero.
Mhm.
And so, but then once he started playing villains, I I feel like after Platoon, things should have blown up for him. But then, yeah, he started making these kind of lower quality movies, and then as he got older and put on weight, he kind of started showing up again and stuff. And another Kevin Costner connection. He was in the Hatfield and McCoy series, and he was really good in that. He plays a real fucking piece of shit.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of totally fell off, and then Christopher Nolan did his Tarantino thing of I'm going to grab one
Shit.
washed-up actor and throw him in a movie, and he put him in Inception, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hell yeah, this is a fourth sniper movie.
I think they're still making them, Hans. I'm pretty sure they're on like Sniper 6 or 7 at this point.
What? With him? Well, that
Well,
was the last one with
he
him.
probably comes and goes, I would imagine. They can't pay him as much, so he probably agrees to do like, I'll do 1 or 2 scenes. You can put me on the poster. Let's just keep this thing going.
Yeah.
And
that's
he
kinda-
had the great misfortune of being in Someone to Watch Over Me, which was a Ridley Scott movie, and like Ridley Scott was big by then, but it's just kind of like a forgettable thriller. Like it's one of Ridley Scott's most forgettable movies.
Hmm.
And
I,
he was
I
the
don't think
lead
I've
in that.
even I don't even think I've heard of that movie, honestly.
I mean, you're not really missing anything.
Hmm. Well, Fear City, he gets the lead role of Matt Rossi in this movie, a boxer with a troubled past. A boxer who can't get over having killed a man in the ring, but it will come back at some point as a strength in this film where he out polices the police force. Billy Dee Williams is literally like the most useless detective I've ever seen in a film. And if you watch the trailer to this movie where they got New York Doll, and I've told this story 1,000 times before, I tried to license this song for Mass State Lottery off of David Johansen, who had no memory of ever doing this song. He thought I was being an idiot because his band is called the New York Dolls. So he's like, "What is New York Doll?" And I was like, "This,
So we
this,
could have used it
this,
without
this song."
crediting him.
I mean, no, no,
Oh.
actually, because he didn't own the rights to it. Joe D'Elia owns the rights to it. Joe D'Elia is one of Abel Ferrara's regular collaborators. Some people suspected that Joe D'Elia was Nicholas St. John, who wrote this movie and was one of his go-to collabs for screenwriting for the longest time. I don't believe that's true. But Joe D'Elia has been his music guy. He wrote New York Doll. David Johansen performed it. And he has the rights, I guess. And there's like I don't think you can find the song on like Spotify or anything like that. The best thing you can do is do like YouTube to MP3. So no such luck with that. Anyway, so this movie came out in 1985. It was Abel Ferrara's, I think it's his third movie after The Driller Killer and Miss 45, if I remember correct. Wolfman, what did you make of Fear City?
Well, I really enjoyed it. So interestingly enough, I saw Fear City for the first time. I think it was in 2020 or 2021. And I'd seen a few Abel Ferrara movies, more of like his prime stuff in the 90s. And then I saw this. I think I saw it on Amazon Prime or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, Abel Ferrara. I was like, New York strippers. a serial killer. This sounds great. Look at this cast. And yeah, I dug it, even though it was really kind of nothing like the other Abel Ferrara movies I'd seen. But at the time that I saw it, it was also pretty much the beginning of when I got on Twitter. And I thought the film was so prescient because we have our hero who's this like alpha ex boxer, but despite being such a Chad, he is completely torn up and obsessed with this junkie stripper who he used to be in love with. We've got two ethnic NYPD cops who are completely hostile to the native population that they're supposed to be protecting and serving. And our villain is an incel weeb who's killing women in the name of purity. Like, this is right-wing Twitter, the movie.
You're right. You're absolutely right about that. Oh man.
I love that because I feel like this type of villain would work in 2026 because it's a white male that's like in shape, right? So it's like, oh, he's the villain. But then he does karate naked, and he just kind of like it's very difficult to take a man seriously when he's in his like dilapidated apartment that has no paint on his walls, and he's just doing hakas naked. And I'm supposed to be like afraid of him. I don't know. It's a very 80s choice, I guess.
I will counter that with the example of William Sadler in Die Hard 2 doing the exact same thing. It was much more menacing.
Yeah, this guy's not very menacing. And does he use a letter opener to stab people with, or is it just like a very thin knife?
I think it might be a thin, like some kind of thin Japanese knife.
Because I remember on the close to the end when he stabs what's her name? Is it Melanie Griffith? It's not
yeah,
Melanie Griffith,
it's
right?
Melanie
Yeah,
Griffith.
it is. He stabs her on the like the what's this called? The muscle, the back of your leg. What is that called?
Calf?
Yeah. He stabs her there with like a very thin knife, and then he starts like attacking her with a very thin knife. And I was like, oh, is that like his thing? It's a cool, thin little tiny Japanese sword because he's karate, right?
Well, he uses multiple weapons. One of my favorites is when he beats the woman to death with nunchucks in the park.
That's pretty good. With some of these women here, you do have some well recognized names. You have Melanie Griffith, but like particularly an 80s star here is Ray Dawn Chong, who, Wolfman, you might have a memory of this. What was that like caveman movie that was popular in the 80s?
Is that The Quest for Fire?
The Quest for Fire. She was in that, right?
I think so. I know her best from Commando.
Okay, I had no idea she was in that movie.
Oh yeah, she's the leading lady. Schwarzenegger joint.
People don't talk about Quest for Fire these days. Hans, that would have been like prime time for you as well as a child. Quest for Fire.
What is that?
It's like I don't know. It was a prehistoric. If you want to pull up a clip, I haven't heard Quest for Fire even mentioned in 30 years.
Looks like shit. Ron Perlman is.
Well, that's perfect casting already.
Yeah. I think Everett McGill's in there too.
There he is.
Wow, wasn't he the Beast on Beauty and the Beast?
He was.
Okay.
Imagine being famous for just being a monster. People are casting you because you kind of look like a monster. So let's just yeah, no, never heard of this.
I mean, regardless of the man's public persona, you really got to hand it to a guy for making fucking lemonade out of lemons with that mug of his.
Oh yeah,
with a big head. Yeah, I mean,
it's not like just big; it's like weird looking. Like he looks like he's got some kind of condition.
Michael Merriman, is that his name? Michael.
This guy from Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah. Who just made a whole career of looking at like a hot dog with arms and legs.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, most of his income is probably just convention appearances because of this movie.
Yep. But he's just a hot dog.
Oh, he was in Weird Science. I didn't know.
He was in The Guyver.
Which The Guyver?
He was in the first one.
Okay.
What is the Guyver?
Oh, the Hans.
What?
It is.
I know MacGyver. Is that
No, yeah,
related to?
yeah, I know. It's easily confused with MacGyver. It is The Guyver. It's like an early 90s straight to video kind of cheap sci-fi monster movie with this fella, Mark Hamill, and
Here he
Jimmy
is.
Walker.
Is this it?
So I found out years later that this is based off of an anime from the 80s. But
Okay.
when I was a kid, one of my best friends loved this movie. And I came over to his house and we watched it. And so, yeah, I remember The Guyver from my childhood.
Reusing Gremlins for this movie.
Yeah.
Wow, look at Jimmy J.J. Walker
That's-
in a movie.
And he does say dynamite
Of course
at
he
the very
does.
end.
Of course. Oh man, you get a Power Ranger ish. Oof. I might YTS this tonight. I'm not even gonna pretend that I'm above this. Seth Green. That's cool.
No, that's Mark Hamill.
Oh,
That's Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, this was Body Bags era, Mark Hamill.
And I will say, for the budget, some of the creature effects, like the costumes and shit, they look pretty good.
Some of it looks recycled from probably Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Gremlins. I would have to imagine.
Oh, that's cool. All right. Well, I'll be watching this tonight. The Guyver.
The
The
Guyver.
Guyver.
What the fuck? Kind of a.
Well, there's that The Guyver, and then there's the, what is it, like Judy Blume or somebody wrote the apocalyptic end of days children's novel, and then that got adapted to a movie as well, and that was The Guyver. Oh, it's where they sterilize children or something.
I hadn't heard of that one.
No, they
Is
made
that
me
another
read that in
Guyver?
school.
No. Oh, that's the Giver.
Oh. That's what I've been saying. I just say Guyver. It's my New York accent.
You can't fucking read.
I didn't say I passed that class, Wolfman.
It's like Michael Merriman did that one too.
Yeah, it's a series, it's an ongoing series.
Oh, by the way, have you guys watched the 1994 Double Dragon movie? Because I think I was meant to talk about this 2 months ago when I watched it, and I was just wondering if you guys are familiar or have watched that
Doesn't that
early
have
90s classic.
Mark Dacascos in it, and he's got
Scott Wolf.
Yep.
Yes.
Party of
That's
Five,
Billy.
Scott Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
That's,
Okay.
That's Billy and Jimmy. That's them too. You know,
I kn-
twins.
I never saw the movie, but I remember like every fucking comic book I ever bought as a kid had ads for it.
Yeah. Well, Alyssa Milano's in it, and Robert Patrick. And I think I I wish I could force you guys to. It's such a piece of. It's a horror. It's like a horrible piece of shit in the level of like the first Mortal Kombat movie, with like very similar special effects. And I kind of want to talk about it. So I don't know if you guys will be down for a Double Dragon episode, but I'd be down because it's such a mess. It's such a this age of before either even comic book movies or like video game movies or whatever were made properly. So you still get the we're trying to ground the story and like ground the characters, but at the same time they're very exaggerated and ridiculous, like the Street Fighter movie. So it's in that period of time where they just didn't know what to do with this, but they knew that they had to exploit the video game thing, like they did with the Mario Brothers movie. And I watched this a couple of months ago, and I just had a really good time with how terrible it was. So this is a perfect episode to bring it up, I think.
I mean, there's I guess the martial arts connection.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and that's
100%.
it.
Well, and I mean, it's pretty clear from his narration delivery. But yeah, the guy that they got to play the killer in this movie, not an actor. He was like, I think he was like a local guy who was just like a local karate champion. And they were like, hey, this guy knows how to do that shit. Put him in the movie.
It's perfect casting. You
Just
know,
naked. Imagine casting someone like that. And you're just like, well, we need a scene where you just, your penis is out.
I don't think
You
Abel
You don't
Ferrara
see
had
his
a
dong.
problem asking anyone to get naked on screen. The first movie he did was Nine Lives of a Wet Pussy, where he's playing
Fair.
a father who fucks his daughter, and and it's actual sex.
Well,
So
and this is a fit guy. I doubt he would care. If anything, he's like, oh, this will get more people to join my karate studio. More chicks too. Mhm.
You know what he felt like? You guys have seen the Foot Fist Way, right? To me, it kind of just felt like someone that beat the Danny McBride character at some weird competition nobody gives a fuck about, and he just has like a strip mall karate studio where he just takes things way too seriously. Like that's the threat that I was feeling from this villain
This
throughout the
honestly,
movie.
this should have been the plot for the Karate Kid series. It should have been Johnny Lawrence just killing hookers with his karate.
Well, what's the? I've never watched. What's it called?
Cobra Kai.
Or Cobra Kai. Yeah,
Cobra
that's what it
Kai.
is. I never watched it
So
either,
what's?
but I remember when it
Oh,
first came out, people were raving about it.
yeah, but is the story just like what Johnny is trying to
I think
not be sad? What's
it's like a redemption arc for Johnny.
Mm-hmm. Well, you back in what was it, like 2014 or something? There was that internet theory meme of like, actually Ralph Macchio's
Oh
the
yeah.
bad guy of the Karate Kid. And this was also during the time where you had like some company doing the Power Ranger fan films, and so they were dabbling with the idea of, all right, let's rework little nuggets of nostalgia and see if we can do anything new with it. So they worked off of that premise and then turned it into like a pretty good first season anyway. I watched the first season when it was a YouTube exclusive. And then after that I checked out. I was like, all right, I got my fill of whatever this show is. And I like the lead guy who plays Johnny, so I didn't mind what they were doing there. But I guess it went on for 6 seasons or something like that, and then they merged
Jesus.
part of that into the new Karate Kid movie because Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan came together for the merging of the remake and the new, or the Cobra Kai original Karate Kid universe.
So here is where
Black Kid go.
here's where I'm gonna be a fucking nerd for a minute and adjust my glasses on the bridge of my nose. Jackie Chan doesn't do karate. He does kung fu.
Mm-hmm.
It's two completely different martial arts from two completely different countries. So that always annoyed me. I'm like, call it the Kung Fu Kid. Everyone knows
Was
what you're referencing, and it's not
was
it's not karate. It would be
was-
like if they're like, oh, it's the Karate Kid, but he boxes, but we're gonna call it
Miss
karate.
was Mr. Miyagi doing karate in the movies?
Yeah,
But
I mean, it was
he doesn't
it's
play Miyagi, right? He plays his own character, because otherwise, how would you do that? Oh, it's Miyagi's distant brother you never heard about.
yeah, it's Miyagi's
Right.
Chinese brother.
Chinese was just as old as him, but he's dead.
Yeah.
Because we know one thing, because we know that Mr. Miyagi fought in World War II. If there's one thing World War II era that we know about Japanese people back then is that they fucking loved Chinese people.
Well, no, now you would need a Jackie Chan to walk through New York and do the whole hashtag stop Asian hate, right? Because they were just getting, what was the knockout game in
oh.
New York?
That's a perfect setup for Rumble in the Bronx too.
My favorite thing about Rumble in the Bronx, especially living as like a New Yorker, is just seeing how Canadian that movie looks. everything is just clearly Canada at every turn. At every alley is the cleanest alley you've ever seen in your entire life, but it's the Bronx.
It's like watching Suits, and it's like, oh, this is New York, and like that's Toronto. There's like nothing New York about it.
Mm-hmm.
I know neither of you guys have watched Suits. I'm a big Suits guy.
You should wear a big
Didn't
suit on this show. You should
I didn't
do
finish.
Stop Making
I,
Sense every week.
I didn't finish the series, but I made it like 3 seasons in. I think that was my USA run. It was Burn Notice and then Suits right after. I think from that time, I was lonely and sad.
I don't think I've ever watched a USA series.
Not even WWE.
That's not really a
That's
USA
not a
series,
series.
though.
It's exclusive on that channel. What would you say is a?
How about
Yeah.
Highlander?
So I didn't because
okay.
Highlander was on before I saw the movie, and the movie was how I got into Highlander.
Mm.
And yeah, I don't know. I think so. In that era of USA shows, they always looked like, quality wise, like the way that they lit them and everything, they looked like soap operas.
Yes, they
They
did.
they had this weird kind of smoky. It always looked like they had a fog machine on, and I couldn't stand. Oh no, I watched Kung Fu: The Legend Continues. That's the one USA show I did watch.
Who did they get for the reboot? Did they just bring back David Carradine, or did they have somebody
Yeah.
else in there?
It's David Carradine and his 100% white son.
Yep.
Even
I
though
remember
I
that
think
show.
David
Yeah.
Carradine, he's white. All of his brothers are white,
That's
unless he
right.
had a different mom.
No, he's white. He's white as a ghost because he is a
Yeah.
ghost now.
Wolfman, did you not watch Airwolf?
I did not watch Airwolf.
Oh man, I'm old as fuck. Well, we'll get those shows rebroadcasted on Latin American TV. That and what was the other? There was like another action TV show where the main guy was like a helicopter pilot, or that might be Airwolf. I don't know.
I think that was
you
Wings, is what you're thinking of, with Thomas Hayden
Oh.
Church and Stephen
I mean,
Weber.
we
Okay.
also got
No,
we
I'm
also got
totally
that one,
wrong.
but
Yeah, no, I'm totally misremembering. Yeah, I watched Wings too. All right, I guess I was a USA guy.
Oh no, I
Right?
don't think Wings was USA. I think that was CBS or something, wasn't it?
Or
Hold
it
on.
was TBS.
TBS.
Let me pull up. Let me pull up
Superstation.
USA
Yeah.
and pretend that I wasn't already looking at this list of USA programming.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see.
White
Pacific
Collar.
Blue. You never watched Pacific Blue? I don't believe you.
No.
Femme Nikita.
Hold on, what was Pacific Blue? That sounds familiar to me. Yeah, I think you might have just unlocked one of my memories here.
Let's see.
Oh no, I did not watch Pacific Blue.
No.
You did it?
Oh wait, maybe I did
What the
watch Pacific Blue. I don't know. Is that Corey
Oh, it's-
Haim?
That's hilarious. It's just bike cops at the beach.
No, that's
I love
the
how. What?
that's the boyfriend who gets killed in the first Terminator.
Ah, okay.
And
I
he was
mean, this
also in
looks
Navy
pretty-
SEAls.
This looks pretty intense. I don't know this picture with the guy wearing his tight biking suit and having a gun pointed at him. They're trying to do like a Baywatch thing, but it's just bike cops. This is
That's
Well,
pretty cool.
How many times have they tried to make action or like cool stuff out of cyclists? It just does not work.
No, the coolest one I think was Puck on the Real World season 3.
Yeah, a New Yorker bringing it back.
Yeah,
was Puck the one with AIDS?
no Puck was constantly combating the one with AIDS, and like
Oh.
they shared the same peanut butter jar, and he was picking his nose and fucking digging it
Oh,
around the peanut butter, which I guess could have like made Pedro sick and given him AIDS from the HIV. I don't know. Who's to say? He's dead. So, yeah, USA's lineup is pretty fucking horrible, I have to
I mean,
say.
Oh, hold on. You got White Collar, right? That's a pretty good show.
For who?
I don't know. I remember the name. I don't remember what the show is. Oh yeah, Matt Boomer.
Matt Bomer. I could have sworn that was Dave Bautista. It was Willie Garson.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I think I just got a lot of ads while watching Burn Notice, so I'm familiar with a lot of the names from these USA shows, but that I've never seen. So because White Collar is like, oh yeah, White Collar.
Oh, here's
Everyone's
one.
seen
Hold on. Whoa,
White
whoa, whoa, whoa,
Collar.
whoa. They remade Kojak with Ving
Oh,
Rhames.
no.
That's right. I remember this. It was a flop.
Oh yeah, that's terrible.
Uh,
You can't do that.
No,
Why don't you
no,
tell us
no.
about
So
this?
I did see. I never watched the show, but I do remember when USA did that Dead Zone series, and that was pretty popular.
You know what? That was the one that I would tune into every so often. They got Anthony Michael Hall to play Johnny Smith. And also they had, what's his name from Boondock Saints, who has lost all his teeth. Not Norman Reedus, the other guy. Sean
John Patrick
Patrick.
Shanley.
Oh,
Was that his name?
Or,
I thought it
no,
was Sean.
John Patrick Flannery,
Yes, yeah.
who
lost
played
his teeth?
Powder from Powder.
That is, weird circle back. But yeah, he plays Stilson in the Dead Zone. Okay.
Alright.
They should have just made a sniper TV show for Tom Berenger to star in. Why didn't they just do that instead of doing 12 direct-to-video movies?
Mr. Robot? Do you guys watch Mr. Robot?
Nah,
I think I watched the
No.
first season.
I never hopped in on that trend. That was like the one time where they got like Emmy appreciation, that show.
I could never stand that guy's face.
No, me either. All right, I
Duckman?
think we're good at
Duckman was
looking
pretty
at the
good.
USA original programming Wikipedia for the Fear City episode, Hans.
Okay, listen. I think everyone should watch Burn Notice, the whole series. So I think that's like as far as my USA network support goes, because everything else looks like it sucks. But Burn Notice is a pretty good show for five seasons. If you want a show where you don't have to think about anything, it's just like, oh, cool. He likes blueberry yogurt, and he works for the.
You make it
CIA.
sound like it's that Japanese movie Perfect Days, and it's clearly not. It's
just
just a
chills.
clearly horribly written procedural law show. But that's all right. We got
mean,
hold on. But we got, when you think about Burn Notice, you think about generic male actors. You think about Jack Scalia in Fear City, who could have played JFK Jr. in a movie, but instead he just went and became a soap opera actor.
I mean, you're wrong. I don't think about generic actors when I watch Burn Notice because everyone's pretty good. But I
With
get your
Suits,
point.
how about with Suits then? You're actually right about that because you got, what's his name, Michael Weston. Is
Oh
not
no, fuck him. Bruce Campbell. Yeah, I don't even know who
Michael.
that
The guy who
is.
plays Michael Weston on the show is not a generic guy. He's a good actor who got like put into that mold, and then finally he gets cast in Sicario and Sicario 2 and
Oh, yeah.
Fargo season 2, and he can actually show his range.
And then he just disappeared completely. He had like a good run of like, oh, this guy's actually, pretty good, and then
He'll be
Gone.
back, just like Robert Patrick in Double Dragon.
yeah. Are
He'll
we
be back.
bringing? Is that you're teasing that we're getting James Franco and him and Rich Evans in our
In what?
future?
On what?
In our,
What is this? The welfare line?
I would
Yeah, the future
definitely watch a
collection.
Double Dragon movie with Rich Evans.
Hans, are you going to see the Sam Raimi movie Send Help?
Not in the theater. I mean, do you want to talk about it?
Well, we can briefly go over. This would be like a nice little clip. I mean, Wolfman, do you have any thoughts on Sam Raimi?
Not really. I mean, I liked the Evil Dead movies. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I remember liking the first two Spider-Man movies back before everybody was making comic book films.
Fragment of
Trying
Hell.
to think though, I don't really think I've enjoyed anything else he's done, unless I'm forgetting something.
I don't know if I'm well versed enough on Sam. He directed a bunch of movies I did not know he directed. He directed Kevin Costner baseball movie For Love of the Game. I didn't know he directed that. I haven't even
I didn't see that
seen
one.
A Simple Plan, which is one that they frequently cite. I think Billy Bob Thornton might have written it.
Oh, okay, yeah, Simple Plan's pretty good.
There's his whole 90s stretch I have like no firsthand knowledge of. I just know him from Evil Dead, Spider-Man, and then all like, in my opinion, dog shit movies he did after Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, Darkman is pretty good. Darkman is fun.
So I
Duckman,
haven't
the
s-
USA original programming show, Duckman, the animated series.
Mm,
I haven't seen Darkman since I was
Darkman
a
is
kid,
better.
so I can't really weigh in.
Crime Wave is kind of a piece of shit.
Well,
I just
they took that one
yeah,
away from him, didn't they?
they did. Yeah, it's a lot of like producer fingers in there. Um,
He did Drag Me to Hell, which everyone loved. I thought that movie was fucking stupid.
I'm
I
with you
love
on
that.
that. I was never a fan
I
of
love
Drag Me
that.
to Hell.
I love that piece of shit. It's bad, but I saw it in the
You know,
theater.
Sam Raimi doesn't
Yeah.
get enough flack for being one of the purveyors of the PG-13 horror aughts era. Not just for that movie, but he produced like 15 movies in that time, like The Boogeyman, that were specifically
Poltergeist.
let's get 12, 13, 14-year-olds who can't show up to the R-rated movie without a parent and put them in the theater. And it worked. It worked like every single time.
Did they all make money?
Pretty
Oh yeah, he
much.
did produce The Grudge, Don't Breathe, Crawl,
No,
Poltergeist
you're
remake,
reading
which was
off
a big piece of
R-rated
shit.
movies now. You're going too late. The PG-13
Well,
stretch was like 2001 or 2 until about 2007 or 8. I feel like the last one, and they struck out, was like the werewolf Wes Craven movie with Christina Ricci.
well, he produced The Grudge in 2004. Then you got Boogeyman 2005, Grudge 2 2006, Messengers 2007, 30 Days of Night 2007, uh, Evil Dead, Spartacus, Poltergeist
Spartacus.
remake. Yeah,
Spartacus?
he produced 33 episodes of that series.
Oh, he
Apparently,
should have put
that's
Ash in it
weird.
midway through.
Bruce Campbell should be getting more work. I think he's just in conventions now again because no one would.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mm.
Well,
Don't Breathe.
yeah,
Crawl,
that's a
The
good one. But with
Grudge.
this, we're back in just Sam Raimi producing territory. He should have had, luckily somehow Bruce Campbell has had a more fortunate career than one Billy Dee Williams in Fear City, who has gone on to do at almost 90 years old seasons of Dancing with the Stars, even though he can hardly move.
Oh no, is he doing that?
He is doing that.
I thought the Mandalorian thing was had enough, right? Wasn't he?
I don't know if he was in that. Was he in that?
No, that was Carl Weathers.
I'm racist.
That's why we love you,
was
Hans.
wait, was Billy D. Williams not Lando? Who am I
He
thinking
was
of?
Lando, but
was Lando.
they didn't get him for that. They got him
wa-
for one of the later movies that Disney did.
Yeah, it wasn't the Landalorian. It was the Mandalorian.
But wasn't he in? Oh man, that's sad. That sucks.
No,
'Cause
they
that's
no
like
they
literally
they shuffled him out for that for the Rise of Skywalker movie, I think.
Yes, when they fucked up so bad with the Last Jedi, and they were like, "Oh damn, Carrie Fisher's dead. We can't do an actual reunion ever now unless we pull like a." And even that wouldn't really be it if they did like a Ghostbusters reboot and did CG dead Carrie Fisher, which I actually think they probably did in Last Jedi when she like comes back to life or whatever and flies away into space,
well,
like
when she's
Poochie.
floating in space.
Yeah, she has her
She used
Poochie
CGI,
moment
yeah.
where she goes off to space and never comes back. They were like, "Fuck, maybe we can like get some goodwill by bringing out Billy D. Williams." No,
no, yeah, that's what the series needs. Let's bring out another tired ass old person. Be like, hey, remember him?
was David Prowse? Could they have brought out David Prowse? Was he still alive at the time? The actual Darth Vader could have come
No,
back.
I believe he was dead.
They could have brought him back anyway. That wouldn't have stopped anyone. They did that with Rogue One. What's stopping them now?
But what do you get? Just like a lanky guy?
Yeah, they wouldn't even
It's just a
recognize him
lanky
as
body.
Darth Vader. Yeah.
No, it's just like, oh, you just got a
You have
tall
him
guy to
as
play
the
Darth Vader.
bodybuilder from Clockwork Orange.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, he's dead.
Mhm. Well, they're all going to be dead soon. I mean, this is kind of the sad and spooky thing is like everybody who's a pillar of the 20th century who built the world that you live in for entertainment, just in general, they're all going to be disappearing in the next 10, 15 years. All of them.
Mm-hmm. They better get to work on that Epstein list.
Well, what is the most interesting thing that's come out from that?
Those people are going to croak. I mean, I'm surprised I had to bring it up. Normally, I come on here and you guys are low res left and right. You're letting me know people I had no idea who were kitty fiddlers.
Well, no, I'm
dropping
just
names like
it hardly ever relates to the Epstein. I try not to talk about it because everyone's talking about it all the time, and I feel like it's been exposed to like we've gotten the most sub IQ takes as a result of everyone being exposed to these emails and having their own opinion and thinking that there's some sort of satanic cabal that relates to XYZ, and it's not just like billionaires trying to fuck 15-year-old girls. So I see the email prompt come up and I will read it, but then seeing anyone's take on it, I'm just exhausted by it immediately.
Yeah. No, I get that. Well, also, and I guess I just have a quick theory. Get me in more hot water after my my Jeffrey Jones episode with the pest. But like, I feel like
not on the list, by the way.
Not on the list. Wow. I guess he wasn't big enough. But
just regular creep, not involved with the Jews.
He was too creepy. Yeah, too creepy and too Gentile.
It's just they don't like redheads, is what they're saying. Yeah.
But I would think that if the whole purpose of this is like Jeffrey Epstein is working for some power, who knows who it is. But if his whole thing is like, oh, we need you to get dirt on rich and famous people so we can use them for various purposes, well, then I don't feel like every party would be compromised. I feel like he'd be wanting to get lots of people to want to go there because it's just a fun place to party. And then every now and then, once it's like, okay, we want you to get this person. Okay, well then while everyone's partying, we'll like mix in a few underage girls in with just like the hot 18 and 19-year-olds, and then we nab them. Because I feel like very quickly, like word would get out and everyone would be like, hey, don't go to Epstein's parties. He's going to trick you into fucking a 15-year-old and then he's going to film it. I don't know. I feel like word would have gotten out too fast.
So your theory is that
my theory is that just because someone went there doesn't necessarily mean they took part.
No, I'm fully on board with that. I mean, the most damning stuff we've seen is just like obscure parties being like, let's have pizza and grape soda after you get out the shower. That's clearly code for something. But has there been anything to like specifically indict anyone famous?
No.
I mean, there's a lot of funny, hilarious photos of Woody Allen and Jeffrey Epstein hanging out, leaving his $1 million apartment, right? But
Stephen Hawking just...
Oh, he was up to no good. He's the most fucking guilty on the planet. Are you kidding me?
What no good can you be up to when you can't move?
And there's nothing he can do about it.
You can't be up to any good. He can't move.
He would be the easiest one to get dirt on because he can't fight back. Like he could have been raped several times. I mean, look, he kept going.
And if he can't get his little paws over to his keyboard, he can't be like, "Hey, I stop that. I don't like this."
But did his dick work? Like, would you just have like an immobile wheelchair guy with like a hard penis, and he's just uncomfortable to look at?
I feel like it would have to work in some way if they're trying to get gals for him.
I think it worked. I think it did work because if you saw the movie The Theory of Everything, he dumps his wife for his caretaker. So
she was taken care, all right.
Yeah. So I don't know. You would have to assume so, especially if there's as many visits as he had.
These are the questions that I want answered. Does Stephen Hawking's dick work?
Wasn't he like indicted for like abusing his caretakers, even though he's in a wheelchair and can't move?
I think you're thinking of Stan Lee.
I thought he was like accused of like physically abusing his caretakers, and he's like, "What is he? What did he hit you with
How?
his wheels? Like how
Yeah.
the like did he spit on you somehow, even though he can't
He's
move his
tipping
mouth
himself
muscles?
over and blaming them.
Mhm.
Yeah, did he push his diarrhea way too hard and it hit you? Like how? Like what the? Like what would you even? He
He just
can't move,
keeps
right?
he just keeps
The
dropping a
whole
pin and making the nurse bend over and pick it up.
well, because the whole disease allows you to not be able to move anything, right? Like that's the thing. You're just a vegetable. So like even if you
Well, that actually,
tr-
you just inadvertently posed a great question. Does he have control over his anal sphincter? Or is he just shitting himself even though he's all dressed up and in a suit and he could be at like a business meeting that's very important, but suddenly shit starts dribbling out of his
yeah,
ass?
Maybe that's how he
sorry.
abuses people. Maybe he's a fecal freak. And so he shits
Forgot
himself and he makes chicks clean him up.
forgot the plug. Sorry. Shitting right now. 1 second. Oh no. It's still oh, it's still going. Oh, I'm making a mess. Like is that what you have to put up with when you're dealing with like this very smart guy that can't move at all and he's using like an electric wheelchair?
Mm.
Like how does he abuse people? Like that's the thing that I'm trying to get creative with my thinking, but like how do you
I
abuse
think you blew
someone
your
when
microphone out, Hans. You sound extremely far away now. I think you got
oh,
too close in your Stephen Hawking impression. But Wolfman, I mean, to come back to your theory, I mean, the most overtly damning stuff is too fantastical. Like, for example, and I don't believe this exactly, but I believe because it connects to the Franklin scandal. The dude who was like, "Oh yeah, George H.W. Bush raped me, but then he also ate a baby in front of me." You know, there's like emails like that that are just like cold call nonsense that was sent in. And it's like, well, hold on a second. You go into the Franklin scandal, George H.W. Bush looks like he's a pretty nasty fellow with a penchant for little African American boys specifically. Um, I don't know if he's eating babies. I don't know if Hunter S. Thompson's in the cage recording a snuff film while one kid kills another kid. I don't know if that's happening, but if you're bringing in underage boy prostitutes to the White House after dark when Reagan's in bed asleep, I could buy that. I can believe that.
I guess, I mean, I guess for whoever's in charge of investigating this, I mean, just start. I would say, like any investigation, like start with what's small and what you can prove. Like start in the realm of believability. These girls were 15. Okay, and as you're gathering evidence, then pursue the oh no, we had some 8-year-olds here too, and it's like oh no, we got baby blood. Like start where you're going to gather the most evidence and then go like down the rabbit holes.
What is the age that's been the youngest referenced or
I
indirectly referenced? Do we know?
I have no idea. But I've long maintained that we need a separate word. Like for like, oh, this guy slept with a hot 16-year-old and he's 20. He's a pedophile. No, he's something else.
Kumia-esque.
Yeah, like and like not saying it should be acceptable, but a pedophile, like that's a child. You know, there's a different word for something that this person can like bear children, but they're under the age of consent. We need a separate word for that.
Muslim.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Indian, child bride.
Well, I think Fear City
anyway,
is still probably my
Tom
favorite Abel Ferrara
Berenger.
Yeah.
movie.
Tom Berenger is pretty good as like sleepy blue eyes hunk, right?
Yeah. Tom Berenger's actually underrated as a leading man, in my opinion. And I think
Yeah.
this is not necessarily the finest showcase of that, but I like him in this movie. I like the duo of him and Jack Scalia, who plays Nicky. I like the
Mhm.
setting. I like the sleazy strip club owners and their ridiculing of like the fat, ugly stripper on the stage, who's like the only one they can get to go up there.
Yeah.
She couldn't give a rapist a boner. That
Mm-hmm.
quote, that's
Yeah,
classic.
great quote. And everyone was just doing animal noises at her. very funny.
Yeah.
Now, LowRes, I did want to ask you something. So I've only seen this movie on streaming services.
Mhm.
So I don't know if it's exclusive to those. Maybe it's different on a VHS or a DVD. But whenever I've watched it, there are multiple scenes where at random the film quality drastically shifts.
That's right.
And it almost looks like a bad VHS transfer. What's going on?
That's
there?
what it is. You got
Oh.
VHS dailies mixed into your version of the movie. So there are two versions of Fear City. And the first version is what went out theatrically. The other version is Abel Ferrara's original cut, which got an X rating. And 20th Century Fox dumped the movie because of that. They were like, we're not touching this film. This is too much for our company. We're not going to make any money back. Whatever. And honestly, the scenes that are deleted that are featured in it and then have been reinserted are not a stretch from what you see in the rest of the movie, in my opinion, anyway.
No, I mean the opening credits has tits, immediately.
Yeah,
which is another great quality of the film.
It's kind of reminded me of when we watched the Super Mario Bros. Movies. That
Hans,
has,
hold on. I'm
extra-
sorry. Your microphone's still fucked up. You did something there.
It's the curse.
The curse of Fear City's kicking in now. Now that we're actually talking about Fear City, it's not working out. It sounds like you might have. I don't know. It sounds condensed or something. Like you're muffled.
Hello.
Okay.
Is this better?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're good
Okay.
now.
I was saying that it feels like that Super Mario Bros. Movie where I forgot what my point was. I hate my I hate my microphone. But it kind of reminded me of never mind, I don't remember
Probably the
what
work
it was.
print cut, right? You're gonna reference that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Where when you're watching and then it just cuts to VHS quality footage, you get a lot of that here, especially with the Tom Berenger and Melanie Griffith scenes where they get a little steamy. They turn to what 120p, 190p.
So
But that's
yeah.
I thought it would be something like that, yeah, where it's we're just adding extra scenes to make it like a director's cut, but we don't have
It's
the
essentially that. I
quality.
mean that's pretty much the case. So Shout Factory got the rights to put out a Blu-ray of the movie, and they wanted to restore the original Abel Ferrara cut. When the movie went to the Shout Factory streaming app, which a lot of people don't know exists, or it may no longer exist. I have no idea. They used that cut instead of the standard theatrical master that they were given. And then when that got licensed to Amazon Prime and Tubi and all these other streaming services, that's the one that got passed around. And so it's kind of hard to avoid that if you're watching the film on streaming. I've seen both versions. I actually probably prefer the theatrical cut, to be honest with you. It's a little less jarring. But the cleaned up masters of these scenes are gone. They got wiped, erased, or they're in some vault somewhere inaccessible and nobody cares enough about this movie to go and polish them up, put them out. One thing I did want to ask you, Wolfman, is now coming off of King of New York, getting to Fear City here, turning it back a tad. How does this inform your outlook on Abel Ferrara and his filmography?
I mean, it definitely shows more of his range as a filmmaker. Because even though I wouldn't say I like this movie as much as the ones from the 90s that I really like King of New York or The Funeral, I mean, they're very much apples and oranges. But this movie's so much fun. It's so sleazy. It reminds me a lot of Vice Squad.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
That'd be a great double feature for anyone who wants to watch this. Watch this and Vice Squad. That's a great night of sleaze and a lot of laughs to be had. But I mean, yeah, it definitely makes sense that he has his porn background. But I mean, there's nothing in the movie that's honestly as much TNA is in the movie, and even though it's you're dealing with characters that are strippers and run the strip club and all that stuff, and there's a serial killer, I would honestly say it's less explicit and less jarring than his 90s stuff.
I agree.
Like I would if I had like a 12-year-old son and someone put a gun to my head and said, "Hey, you got to let your kid watch Fear City or The Funeral," I would let him watch Fear City like 100 times before I would let him watch The Funeral.
I think they'd just be bored watching the funeral.
He'd be bored, but it's also like, I mean, there's fucking in that movie, but like that movie's dark.
Mm-hmm.
Like that movie deals with like real evil. This movie's fun.
Yeah,
This is no different than a slasher. There's just not a guy in a mask.
I was going to say, I love the idea that this is like Abel Ferrara's prospect of doing a commercial film, because there's really nothing commercial about it aside from what it's in New York. You have actors that are recognizable, but Tom Berenger wasn't like the star he is. I mean, Billy Dee Williams, I guess, was, because Empire Strikes Back had come out. Yeah,
I don't think Melanie Griffith was. I don't think she hit her stride yet.
no, not yet,
Yeah.
not yet. So you know, you have this. This is his first attempt at doing that, and then he winds up getting kind of knocked back. Not totally. He's not working at a Miss 45 level when he moves on to China Girl. I can't remember if The Gladiator was a TV movie or if it was theatrical.
I think it was a TV movie.
Okay, because I know he went and worked with Michael Mann for a bit, and that I feel like maybe their styles informed one another, because he did Crime Story. He did the pilot of Crime Story, which he considers a movie, and his version of it is like a tad different from the version that was broadcast on NBC. And in fact, they screen it every so often at the Museum of Moving Image and some other places. You will get the original Abel Ferrara 35 millimeter work print of Crime Story that he views as like his movie version of that. But the next theatrical outing would be China Girl, which is like his response, his clapback to Year of the Dragon. And I think it's an enjoyable movie. It's not Year of the Dragon, though. It's certainly not. Whether they shot in Georgia or the South or wherever the hell they shot that or not, Year of the Dragon is 20 times the movie that China Girl is.
Yeah, I haven't seen China Girl.
It's Romeo and Juliet in Chinatown in Little Italy, and it deals with that sort of warring faction, not dissimilar to Year of the Dragon. He borrows a lot of the same actors from Year of the Dragon for that movie.
Okay.
And you also get some people from King of New York in there, like David Caruso plays one of the like Romeo's boys or whatever, and he's a troublemaker, of course. He's always a troublemaker and an asshole and just a prick in the 1980s, David Caruso. And we talked about that on your show.
I'll have to check this one out.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good for Abel Ferrara. I actually think his earliest stretch of films is probably my favorite. I don't respond to his 90s work after Bad Lieutenant nearly as well as I do Driller, Killer, Miss 45, Fear City, China Girl. I'd say. Hans, you don't, I don't think, have as well versed of a sense of Abel Ferrara as Wolfman and myself. What have you seen from his filmography?
I like Driller Killer. I think that movie's fun. It's very sleazy and weird and dirty. But I remember enjoying that when I watched it. I think I'm more familiar with maybe his later, like is Bat Lieutenant one of his later movies? I guess not. That's like
No,
early 90s, but,
you know, it's funny because I would consider it one, but it's not, because he starts in the mid to late 70s. That's early 90s, and it's honestly only like his fifth or sixth movie, I believe he did, or seventh.
Yeah, because I've seen Driller Killer, King of New York, Bat Lieutenant, Body Snatchers.
Honestly, the Body Snatchers movie sucks, I think. And that was another one that was supposed to be like a big commercial movie for him. He was working with Warner Brothers for it. They had taken a look at the movie and they were like, "We hate this. We want to make it even more commercial. And you know what? Maybe we're going to just do direct to video instead of putting this in the theater now." After giving him like, Hans, maybe you can look this up. I feel like they gave him a budget of $20 million or something. And that was probably the most he had worked with to that point. and it was not working out. And then he subverted
False.
whatever they wanted and premiered it at Sundance or Cannes. So it had to get some attention, and then they were fucking pissed at him over it.
It was 12 million and it made 428,000.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
That's a bad hit. Oh,
But that's not really. I mean, if you look at Abel Ferrara's work, I don't think you hire him to do a Body Snatchers movie. Like I think like that's too. I don't know. Far from like his wheelhouse of like filthy, dirty, grimy stuff. You know.
I mean, I think, especially in that time period, like in the '90s, I think if you wanted to get Abel Ferrara to do like a more commercial movie, I feel like you give him like an erotic thriller.
yeah.
Because this is like Basic Instinct time. You know, that's when those movies were popping and making a lot of money. Yeah, give him a dirty, just nasty ass erotic thriller.
I was already picturing his version of Basic Instinct and how grimy and fucking gross that would probably
it'd be nasty as hell.
hairy,
Yep.
sweaty.
Like you would have to get two very good looking leads because it's the only way it would work.
You get the leg crossing scene, but you can't see anything because it's just hairy or just a bush. So you're just like, all right, well.
Well, you
cares?
would get Harvey Keitel instead of Michael Douglas in that movie.
Mm.
And who will be the girl?
Or imagine Abel Ferrara's 9.5 weeks, where they're just like pouring fucking spaghetti sauce all over each other and shit, fucking in a butcher shop on a dead cow half.
He's raining and he's farting as he's thrusting into this woman because he had some bad ZD before it. Yeah, no. It just doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't feel like the right pick. You know,
no.
Horny, creepy, grimy guy. Hey, let's make you do the erotic film of the 90s.
Well,
everyone's gonna be jerking off in the theater.
Have either of you seen Dangerous Game? That's Madonna's commissioned movie.
Yeah.
She hired Abel Ferrara to direct, and it's her and Harvey Keitel. So it would probably be Harvey Keitel and Madonna, I would assume, for his Basic Instinct or 9.5 weeks.
Okay,
is that the one with Willem Dafoe?
That's on Tubi.
I don't know.
Wasn't that the one with Willem Dafoe fucks her or something? Madonna?
I don't.
Are you thinking New Rose Hotel?
Fucking her. I don't think Madonna's in New Rose Hotel.
No.
Oh no, sorry. That's Body of Evidence. That's my bad.
Oh,
that's not Abel Ferrara at all. You're thinking Madonna.
Well, early 90s, they had it in their heads that they could use Abel Ferrara in a commercial way, I guess because of Bad Lieutenant. Because King of New York, as we talked about on Wolfman Show, is a flop at the box office that wound up getting new life on home video. So Body Snatchers, but also he was attached to do Carlito's Way around that same time. And he wound up losing that opportunity by going to the Oscars or the Golden Globes or something. He was seated at a table with some like important people in the industry, and they send like a wine bottle to your table or champagne bottle to your table. And he picked up the champagne bottle about like midway through the ceremony and just left. Mm-hmm. And the guy who was with him at the table was like, Abel Ferrara just stole our champagne bottle. And then he got a call at like 3 a.m. saying, you're fired. You're off Carlito's Way. Guy had nothing to do with Carlito's Way, but that's just how the industry works. And Abel Ferrara, to his credit, when he was writing his autobiography, his memoir, recognizes that he has self-destructive pathologies where he will do things like that. And it's to kind of prevent himself from succeeding. So he was developing this movie with Pacino, and it was going to be closer to the novel, or I don't know if it was a novel or if it was true crime, whatever. But it was a 1970s set. They had someone else instead of Sean Penn playing the Rosenberg character attorney. Kleinfeld. Rosenberg, I think, is what? GTA's version of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting stuff. Abel Ferrara, always a character.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I guess maybe it's age, or maybe it's just You get to a certain point, once you just watch enough movies, you appreciate guys like Ferrara a lot more because they are so unpredictable. And even when they have like a more like uneven entry or like a weaker movie, I don't know, like seeing, yeah, look at him. Our hero.
That is a low tooth.
Yep.
That's
A
interesting.
bunch of them. A bunch of them, not just one. Yeah, that's rough.
And you can see him
It's rough
in
when you
Marty Supreme right now on streaming. How about that? We'll be covering that soon.
yeah. What does he do? Does he bite people? What is his role?
Wolfman, have you seen Marty Supreme?
I haven't.
You haven't? I think you would enjoy it. I don't
I'll
know.
check it out.
What is your temperature on the Safdies, or at least Josh Safdie?
I've only seen, I saw the two big ones they did. I saw Good Time and Uncut Gems. I liked both of those.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll check them out. I do, even though I don't actually think I've seen him in a movie. Just the
acting.
The thought of Chalamet just bothers me. But yeah, I'll check it out eventually.
Abel's good in it. Abel plays Abel Ferrara pretty much, but that's all you really need from Abel. So.
Yeah.
All right. Fear City. What is the final take on Fear City here, Hans? We've covered this now 3 times. Where do you land on this go around?
I wish I had more to bring to the table because I know you guys have talked this fucking thing to death.
I honestly, like, I think it's a positive that I don't even remember what I said about it before. In the last couple of episodes that we did. I think it's definitely an enjoyable short. Also, I think it's only like an hour and 39 minutes. Story of one of the things that I'm the biggest fan of, which is just filthy New York. Even though I don't remember, this was shot in New York, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So like I love that sleazy 70s, early 80s New York stuff that has like it's its own character, and I think you kind of see that here, even though you do get a lot of Lando in it. I don't think he lends his performance that well. I think he's just kind of a recognizable face that's barely trying. But everyone else is doing their best to make this weird movie about prostitutes that get killed by a karate guy that
not exclusively killed. They do get assaulted
or
Yeah,
hurt,
he's got to work his way up.
Yeah, he warms up to it.
Yeah. He slashes their foreheads before he does anything because he wants to leave a mark before he kills you. Even though he doesn't really look threatening at any point. I feel like I'm trying to remember if he's wearing like a turtleneck at the beginning of the movie. With black sweater.
Thank you for bringing this up, Hans, because this is a point I wanted to make and I totally forgot it, but you just reminded me. So yeah, so in the movie, the killer, all he ever wears is a hoodie and jeans, which by today's standards sounds very nondescript because that's all any male wears, because the only male clothing you can buy in a store is hoodies or flannels. But in 80s New York, that outfit actually makes him stand out. He's like the most drab guy on the street by a mile because everybody else looks flashy as shit. So it actually, I feel like if you were to make this movie today, that outfit would be perfect because he'd blend in with everybody. But in this movie, I'm actually surprised that people don't catch on to him sooner. It's like, hey, there's this guy with kind of a weird mullet and he's just in a hoodie and jeans and he keeps hanging out across the street. He's not coming in. He's not spending any money.
Yeah. I mean, I do think this killer feels both out of place, but like perfectly at home with this movie. And I think it depends on which angle you're looking at the film with. If you look at it as this sort of like New York exploitation film of the mid 80s, then you're hitting on like so many different trends and he feels like a welcome part of it. But if you are looking at it I mean, my first time watching it, I was looking at it from like the Abel Ferrara. Okay, we're dealing with like strip club culture, and these sex workers getting knocked off, and then this is your bad guy. It's kind of like, what the fuck is this? What am I watching right now? But I don't know. I like it. I think making those types of big swing decisions, whether they feel natural or not, lead to giving the movie character, and he gives a lot of character to this film.
Oh, I mean that's part of what makes the movie so memorable. If he were just going around killing women with a knife and that's all it was, it would be way less. It would have way less of a punch, no pun intended. And I'll run a little defense for Billy Dee Williams. He doesn't give a great performance, but in classic Abel Ferrara style, I don't know how much of this is in the script and how much of this is just improvised. I kind of hope it's improvised now. Man, he fucking makes use of every Italian slur in the book in this movie. So I'm not from the Northeast. I know there's like way more, because there's so many more ethnicities up there and there's so many more little enclaves. I don't really know how intense a lot of the different racism is, but the idea of a black guy just exclusively hating Italian people is so foreign to me that it's hilarious.
Well, I think you also got to put it in the context of the time where New York is way more Italian in the 80s.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, Little Italy is actually Italian. And there is that organized crime presence that will eventually be evaporated in the mid to late 90s under Giuliani. So I think it tracks. I think it makes sense, especially knowing his character as a detective. I will disagree with you guys. I don't think Billy Dee Williams gives a bad performance in this movie. I think he's fine. I think his character is just kind of useless. And when you watch, I was going to mention this before, when you watch the trailer where they're at like the gun range and it's like edited slick, it's really cool. It's just like you got New York Doll playing and it's just gunshot, gunshot, gunshot. And they're like, Billy Dee Williams is hunting a killer. And they make him look like so cool and efficient. I was hyped up for like, oh wow, he's gonna take care of business. Then you watch the movie, he's just like completely irrelevant. So it's like he's horrible. He's like, what do you think? You're a hero? Yeah, I guess you're a hero. At the end of the movie to Tom Berenger when he fucking stops the guy.
Nothing I hate more than guineas and Cadillacs. It's the best line of the movie.
That's pretty good, Billy Dee Williams, Wolfman.
Oh, thanks. Well, the rumors are that I'm black, so
I feel like the line where that either a very Jewish or very Italian guy goes, she couldn't even give a rapist a boner, or whatever that line was. That was like, okay.
She couldn't give a rapist a hard on.
Yeah, that was something like that. Yeah. We were just like, I think he was Italian because he said Marone, but his entire personality was just very Jewish.
Yeah, I think that's Michael V. Gazzo, who's very Italian.
Yeah, it's the most Italian last name he could have had for this cast.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll wrap things up there. Thank you to Parker Longbow for sponsoring this episode and helping us.
I had a feeling.
You're familiar with Parker Longbow?
Oh yeah, he's like one of my oldest mutuals.
Okay. And I think he's an author, right? Maybe he was in our Discord promoting a book that he's recently released. So everybody go take a look at Parker Longbow on Amazon. I can't vet whether or not it's good or if it's interesting, but I do know he does stuff. And thank you, Parker, so much for helping us get this episode done. So, Wolfman, where would you like to direct people?
I would just like to echo that. Yeah, Parker Longbow is a great crime and horror writer. So definitely check out his stuff, especially if you're into pulp at all. Like the guy really knows his stuff. He knows what he's doing. But yeah, check me out. I'm on Twitter at DET_Wolfman, and check out Bloody Pulp on Spotify.
Excellent. You can go listen to our King of New York episode if you have not already, along with Max Thrax. It was a terrific time. All right. And if you listening to this right now would like to sponsor an upcoming episode of movies and pick a film for us to watch, we have some different variations of the sponsorship tier for you that we're probably not even going to be able to get to your movie until March at this rate, because we're still making up ones from Christmas. I think there might even be one from Halloween in there. It's just the rest of the month is going to be packed with Japanese films, DIY movies. But you can get them all on patreon.com/LowRes. If you want to sponsor the show, head there, sign up for the $100 listener sponsored tier, and you can pick a movie that's under 3 hours or so for Hans and I to watch and talk about. For $151, you can join the Kenny tier and make Kenny watch a film with us. We covered, what was the movie we just covered, Hans? The Marlon Brando movie that we talked about. The title's
The Last Tango in Paris.
I kept thinking Last Temptation of Christ. It definitely was not that. Last Tango in Paris.
That is no butter in that movie.
No.
No butter in Jesus' time. Nope.
No. We covered Last Tango in Paris with Kenny, and he came prepared. He took notes. He probably knew more about the movie than you or I. And we have Melancholy Durango coming up later in the month. That's 151. And if you want to go real bold and do it Civic TV style, that is back for this tier, $300. You get me, Hans, and Jerry Jensen. I'm Bloom Online. He now does Twitch streams again. I saw that he is back to playing GTA. We will sit down, we'll watch your movie in real time and comment on it. And that has to be under 2 hours. So thank you again to Parker. Thank you, Wolfman, for joining us for this episode. And
anytime. Thank you.
that has been Movies for this week. Thank you for listening.